Cheryl's headed right out, it looks like, so we're going to start here, and then we'll trade places with her out there. Let's go right up here. This big red piece of equipment, this crane here, my understanding is it is unique to Crazy Horse Memorial. It's the only one like it in the world. It's specifically manufactured for here, under their specifications. It will go over 130 feet tall and reach over the top of the mountain to the other side. It will also unfold and expand out the front of the face. And there used to be, that on the catwalk up there that you see, there used to be a boom that stuck out over there, which held the plumb bob. And that's how in the early 80s, when they were in late 80s and 90s, when they were taking the measurements off the model, that's how they transferred those measurements to the mountain. Now they do it all by laser scanning, so they really don't need the plumb bobs anymore. Okay, that plumb bob or that boom is actually on display over in the area by the Fighting Stallions. They moved it outside. It used to be in the mountain carving room, but they moved it outside. Okay.
Is that the steps that he climbed?
No, those are some that Ruth put in, had the crew put in, when she took over carving on the face, when she moved the carving to the face. Okay. That's how they gained access to work on the top. You can't see it from here, but I'll show you. There's a little deal up here behind the crane that's called a spider, and it has its own winch on it. And you start up this little Briggs & Stratton motor and turn the winch on, and it'll climb up the mountain. Okay, that's what they would put their tools in and haul their tools up. Now they've already, with using the crane for practice on how you run it, they've actually pre-positioned some cobalt toolboxes up on top to get ready to start carving his hair. And pretty soon we hope, real soon, they're going to take that catwalk up there down and actually start working on his hair. Now, when I say soon, I want you to take in mind that the carving is already in its 74th year. Okay, so soon could be another 3 or 4 years, you know what I'm saying? Of course, being a crane and lifting a lot of weight, it requires counterweights. They're behind you here. There's 12 of them. They're 9,000 pounds a piece. For that. I had a young man ask me one day, he says, well, how do they put those on the crane? His dad looked at his son, he says, really? You're going to ask him that? He says, yeah. He says, it's a crane. It'll lift them up and put them on itself. And I believe, looking at the crane, I've never seen them on. I think they fit on this end underneath this right here is where I believe they fit. Okay? When we come back from the face and the hand, you're welcome to pick up some flat rocks here. They got some really good color to them. Cool. Ooh, we're running low on water.
We put them out in our yard so we can look at them while we're sitting outside. They're from down there.
We have people that come once a year and they pick up a rock and put it in their little Crazy Horse rock pile, they call it. Wow. All right, let's work our way up to the
my alley.
Every time I come up, I get a hot one. And my sister finally goes, okay, yeah, 12, 15.
This here slab of rock and this other rock. The slab has a example of the seismic meter stuff. They have seismic meters mounted on the mountain. I'll show you some that are actually on the mountain instead of just on display. That's part of the seismic testers. This other rock over here has got a chain through it and a bar in that. That gives people an idea on how they lift it off the mountain using the cranes and stuff. They just don't always, from the top part, they just don't roll rocks off where they may have carved down below. They don't want to damage anything down below. Once they get the rock out to where they can push it off and not hurt anything, then they'll push it off. And what they do when they do that is they'll put a pile of them right along the edge and position them. And then when the bus tour's at the bottom of the mountain, they'll push them off when they're down there and they can see them and watch them. The mountain crew really participate with us. That little buggy behind the crane, that's that spider I was telling you about. You can't see a cable. They just got the cable hooked to a spike up there on top or a drill bit. And but that used to go all the way up to the top. And I don't know how many steps there are here, but there's a bunch of them. So you got 1, 2, 3, almost 4 levels of steps going up it, and probably 20 to 25 steps in each one. So you got another 75 steps there, you know.
Why do they have the seismic meters
To measure any movement in the mountain, to see if there is any natural movement. Since they've installed them, my understanding from Jim Mulkey about 2 years ago, they have not seen any significant movement at all in the mountain.
So the blast don't move it at all.
Well, see, they haven't done blasting since 2015.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because what they use now is saws.
Okay.
If you'll notice down along his left arm here, along the left side of his elbow, that rounded off piece right there, except for cosmetic work, that's probably done. They've already torched it. Okay? But when you come down to that shelf below it, they still have to remove rock there. And then, of course, they have to remove rock up here on top. Somebody in my tour here a while back, a couple of years ago, says, well, why don't they work on the top of the arm too? And I says, well, you can't paint yourself into a corner. They still have to get equipment out to the hand to finish the hand. So they're working on the hand and working their way back, but they're also doing work along the side that they can without disturbing the top of it too. Okay? From here on out, please do not turn around and look at the mountain, no matter how tempting it could be. Because like I always tell my guests, your response to the mountain carving when you turn around and look at it is what makes the tour for me. Okay? I will tell you, how can I put this? I can't say I haven't heard any negative comments, but holy crap might be a negative comment, but in a positive way. Okay? And to tell you the truth, I say crap in a very polite way. That's the other word. But anyway, we're not going to go too far out because the sunlight will be right in your eyes. Kind of come over this way a little bit, because I want you to see it so you're not in the sun. Now these folks up here, they've already seen his face. Go ahead and turn around and look at it. Whoa.
Wow.
There you go. Whoa. I love it. It don't matter. I love it. It's awesome.
I can't look at it enough.
Now what, you guys were up here when, 2019?
Yeah.
So at that time, you couldn't touch these things.
I think we've touched
We
it
touched the
before.
side.
The fence came across over here. Close to the
Yeah.
building.
Okay, we didn't go around in front of these
Yep.
things. Yeah.
Yep. In order to touch it, you'd have to reach across the fence. And they've actually pushed this end of that fence in a little bit. So to do that, you'd almost have to really reach over the top. Okay. They changed that in 2020. In 2020, from the top of the fence past that crane, you can imagine standing at the height that that fence is.
The car is right about in there.
In April of 2020, that's where you would be standing at that height. All the way across. That hump wouldn't be there, but it'd be level all the way across. And what they did, and I'm not